Hello and welcome back. So we are doing the series on here where we are drawing Christmas stuff, and in today's video we're going to draw this Christmas tree. So let's just get started. So let's click on create new. I'm going to click on digital and square. You can choose any file size that you want, doesn't matter. Let's start with square. I have a sketch and a color palette for you guys. So let's go ahead and bring it in. So you can download these with the link in the description box below. Once you have downloaded and saved it onto your device, let's go ahead and bring it. First is a sketch. Click on your images, photos, and bring it in. If you have saved it in files, you can go and check it in files as well. But mine's in photos. Click on done. And then we're going to go into levels and reduce the layer opacity and make this into multiply. This sketch is a bit excessive. I was planning to draw a whole Christmas scene, like this is inside the house. You have decorated the Christmas tree with the cookies and baubles and candy canes and things that we drew earlier in this series. But then I changed my mind. I thought I'll put this tree outdoors, like it's a tree growing in the wild with some aurora in the background. So yeah, we just changed it up a little bit. So if you want to go ahead and draw this scene, go ahead and experiment with this. This is the window, by the way, and there's the outdoors and there's a lot of snow and stuff. So go ahead and experiment with that. But right now we're just going to draw the tree and we're going to use this sketch for that. Now let's bring in the color palette. So I'm going to go into my photos and bring in the color palette. And once you have it, click on done. So the main thing about this is if you have a setting that's turned on, which by the way is by default turned down, that whenever you import an image, it automatically creates a color palette. That is, if you go into colors and if you scroll down, you'll see here as image 3399. That was the image of this color palette. It's here. This is from the sketch. Because I don't need it, I will click and I will say delete palette. Now I have this color palette which has been created from this, but sometimes it doesn't pick all the colors that you need from this, but sometimes it does. And sometimes it makes it darker than the ones you have here, but sometimes it works really well. So I'm just going to quickly test if my colors are matching really well. So just click on the red because I think that's the brightest color here, which will give me an idea. I'll click on the HSP slider and it's 355, 84 and 95. I'm just going to quickly remember this. I'll go back here and click on this and you do see the colors have changed a bit. It's 359, 85 and 100, whereas this was 355, 85 and 95. What I've noticed is the colors that get picked automatically, the brightness level is usually lower. So you usually have to tend to, increase it at least. These numbers are okay. I mean, it's not of a much of a difference. So it's still okay if it's that color, but the brightness, it really makes a lot of difference. So this one is at 95, but if you click and hold this, it's almost at 100. So that does make a bit of an issue. So you can also pick your colors from this thing right here. But if it doesn't work, it's okay. You can still pick things here. I'm just going to go and hide it because I will just use the color palette that was auto-created because why not? So let's go ahead and draw. Now, the first thing I want to draw is the tree so that I can get rid of the sketch and then just concentrate on the sky. So let's do that. I'll be using a pixel brush for this, and that is if you go into dry media, let's choose the pastel square now. And I'm going to quickly check. This is too green. So not that. I want a different color. So I'm going to go back and probably start with a middle green, something like this. And obviously I'm going to make it brighter, maybe at 83. You can use these or you can click and hold and change that as well. And okay, that's good. And now let me go here and I'm going to draw my tree like this. Oh, quickly, the brush size is at 218. This is a size that whatever you're comfortable with, use that size. And the flow is at 70. I haven't changed the smoothing, which is at 1. And I think this is a bit too light for me. So 2-finger tap to undo. I'll go back here and select a darker one. Maybe the one which was already there, but make it only 73 or so instead of the color that we chose earlier. And obviously you need to go on a new layer, but because it's a pixel brush, it will automatically go, but still plus. So I want to start from the bottommost tree. That makes it a bit easier to add later on. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the bottommost tree and see, I'm just not following the sketch, but trying to make the edge of the tree like that. And I'm not being very, very careful about making sure that there's no white spaces or anything. I'm just going to make a tree shape and I want those nice little spaces that we see there because I think that makes it look nicer. And I wanted this below the sketch, so I'm going to click and hold the sketch and bring it all the way up. Perfect. I'll go back to that layer, plus, and use the same brush and make this one as well. I know you can't really see what we are doing right here, so if you feel like I can't really see, this is not nice, you can go ahead and hide this layer by pressing the I button, and then you can see what you have created. We'll do that for the top layer so that I can show you how I make my top layer. Yeah, okay. There you go. And set. So let's add the next color. So I'm going to go into my bottommost layer, plus, and clipping mask. And we're going to go into a darker color. There are so many colors here, so go ahead and pick it. Maybe choose this one, and yeah, this should be okay, I guess. Let's check it out. We are in this bottom layer, so we have to color it only here. So now I'm going to add some shadows here, and I'm not adding a lot of pressure. If you see, if I add pressure, it comes like this. I'm not doing that. I'm adding a little bit, like I'll alternate between adding a lot of pressure and adding a little bit of pressure. And I'm going to make some stripes or some strokes which look like it's darker. So I want a little darker green now, and I'm going to go ahead, that was too dark, so we're going to go ahead and add a bit like this to some areas which I feel like, you know, requires a bit more help. And also when you're drawing these strokes, make sure that you're drawing it like in the direction of the leaves of the tree. So this one here needs to go like this, right? You can't draw like this. That would change the way the tree would look. You might think, oh, it might not make much of a difference, but it does actually. It changes the way the leaves or things are going. So you don't want to do that. So undo, undo. I'll hide the sketch because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so go back here, and we're going to add a bit of shadow in here like that. And now you can actually undo the clipping mask because you don't really need it, and then it'll give you nice. I think this has gotten a little too much of dark green, to be honest. So you can go back and just fix it with the other green. You don't have to erase anything. That's the beauty of it. Okay, so I think my tree looks okay, the bottom part. So I'm going to go into next layer here and plus, and this is below this layer, so whatever you draw is going to show up like this. It's going to give it a nice little, you know, a shadowy thing. So when you're drawing this now, make sure that this bottom edge remains bright green. Otherwise, they're just going to blend with the bottom layer, right? So we don't want that. Okay, get some dark green now. Undo. So if you feel like your lines are going out, go ahead and click on clipping mask. It's completely fine. Because I'm used to this brush a bit, so I know how to control it a little bit better. So yeah, so if you feel like it's not working out, just go ahead and use the clipping mask. There you go, that's good. And then let's go to the top layer, and in here we're not going to add the dark green bit. That's mainly because it's a shadow, right? It's to create that illusion that the tree is in layers, and we don't need that. So we're just going to add some of this green, mainly because we want the illusion that there are leaves in here, you know, multiple leaves. Yeah. And now I want a little lighter green on this side. So I'm going to go back here and choose this green, which seems very pale. That's, you can see the numbers here, so you know what exactly what you're picking, what I am picking. So I'm going to go ahead and add it a bit here. I know you can't see this really well through the video, but it does make a bit of a difference when you're adding it up here. I don't know how else to explain it. So anyway, I'm just going to add a little bit here and there, not too much because it kind of overpowers the other green and we don't want that. Okay, so this forms the tree and I want to group this. You don't really have to, but it's a way of being organized. So click, select multiple, and we're going to select all the layers that make up this tree and click on this folder here. So now that's the tree. Wonderful. So go back like below that tree layer, plus, and we're going to choose a brown. I think we have one here. And for brush, let's take hard pastel. And this one is at 85. You can see that this gives a very nice dark texture kind of thing. That's too thick, I guess, right? Okay, that looks better. And then you can go into darker color like this. I don't have it in my original sketch, but then you can go ahead and add a bit like that just to create that illusion of a shadow, right? Tree is all set. Let's make the background now. So plus, and let's choose a pale blue. This is the pale blue, and I'm going to make this a bit brighter because I think the color in there is brighter. So I just made it 99. And for brush, I'm going to choose paste and square again. And yeah, this is better. And I'm going to put it in this direction like this. Can make it a bit bigger, not too big, maybe 240 or so. Not there, please. And we're going to color in like that. We're going to add a bit of pressure here near the tree so that it kind of blends in really well. That looks good. And in here, we're going to add some pink. We have a pastel pink here, or this one, and make it all the way 100. We want it nice and colorful. And add them here. Make sure to add here and some next to the blue if you want. Not too much though. There you go. Gonna use some color mixing techniques. So let's choose some darker blue now. I'll choose this. Yeah, let's choose that and add a bit up here. Gonna make it a little bit more bigger, maybe around 300s. You can also click and hold and change it. Let's add some here. I guess that's it. And I want a dark blue. This is much better. I'm going to add some here. I want this to be mixed together later. So I'll show you what it does later on. And we're going to fill up this entire sky here like that. All right. And then in the corner, we're going to use, add a bit more. Then we'll choose black. And we're going to add some black to the edge here and maybe up here a little bit, not too much. Now we are going to go into smoothing tool, and if you click it again, you can see that there are different options for this, and I'm going to click on dry media and choose hard pastel roll. And it's around 235. This is at 50, and we're going to be using that. And I want you to create lines like this that are going out of the tree. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to create lines like this. And I want you to smoothen out these lines here. And it doesn't matter what color you are on, by the way. And then here we're going to do like this. So I'm doing zigzag motion here, as you can see, like that. Go to a vector brush to demonstrate. I'm doing like this and like that, like this and like that. Now if you see, all the blue has gone there and the dark blue has gotten lost. So we don't want that. We want the dark blue to come down as well, and we want blue to go up, and we want dark blue to come down. These are things that you need to experiment. So you might not get it right at the first shot, so don't lose hope if you don't, it takes time sometimes. So I'm going to bring some blue here. And I'm also not using a lot of pressure. That is really important, because if you use a lot of pressure and bring it in, it's going to make that. So you're just going to do things like this to soften that bits. And I'm using a really fast technique, and you can just do like that if you feel like the black is overpowering things. And in here, it'll just pick up white. So we're going to make it like that. Okay, so I hope you're happy with this. And also you must have noticed that I was not using straight or like this lines, but I was basically using in this direction, all the way out and all the way down like that. And our sky is basically done. And we're going to go on the top and click on plus, and we're going to add some snow. So let's go ahead and choose some white. Let's go back to our brush. And I'm going to click on hot pastel, and let's make some snow. You want to keep this a bit higher, so because you get that rough, you see that, like that edges, and we're going to make sure to bury the tree in the snow, and then we're going to do that. Okay, let's add the snowman. So plus, let's add a big little tummy. You want it to go a bit on the snow like that. Plus a new layer for a small little face. The reason I did that is I'm going to come back onto this big tummy layer, plus and clipping mask. And we're going to go into a gray color if we have, maybe this. Maybe make it lighter, but 84 or so. And for brushes, we'll use paste and square. And I'm going to add a bit of shadow here. You see, I'm using very light pressure so that it gives a shadow kind of effect. I'm going to go below this tummy layer and plus and add some shadow here as well. That was too dark. Use your two finger to undo things. Just add a bit of shadow. While we are at the shadow brush, why don't we add some shadow to the tree as well? So I want you to go above the snow level, wherever, here or whatever, plus just add a bit like that, and yeah, a bit here, maybe to show the shadow. Okay, that looks fine. Now let's go back to the snowman, to the face, and plus, and we're going to choose black. I'm going to go into my charcoal and charcoal pencil. It's at 19, set to whatever you want, and I'm going to make a hat on this guy. And let's go to the face. You can draw on it or create a new layer, doesn't matter. There's some eyes and some buttons for him, maybe a smile, orange color, it's right here, so we'll just use that and make a nose for him. If you want, go ahead and add a scarf, but I'm just gonna leave it like that. If you feel the snowman is too huge, go ahead and select it, select multiple, select everything that makes up the snowman, even the shadow, and fold it up. Now click on transform, and we're going to make him tiny, 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 and place it in here. Done. Now let's add more jazz to the Christmas tree. So let's go back to the top of the Christmas tree, plus we're going to choose some yellow that we have, this one, and I'm going to make it all bright 100. And I'm in the same brush, charcoal pencil, I guess, and I'm going to just add a star to it. And now let's add some lights. So plus, I'll choose black and still on the same, and just draw lines. It's okay if it goes out, we'll just use a clipping mask, so don't worry about it. So just make sure that you have enough space to put a lot of lights, because in the next video I'm going to show you how to make this into a snowy animated version. I'll show you in a bit how that looks like. So let's go here and click on clipping mask so that it's okay. Now plus, and we're going to choose different colors, oranges, yellows and whatnot, and make a lot of lights. I want some reds, obviously, make it all the way 100 so that's nice and bright. And obviously some bright green that we chose earlier. Obviously yellow, more yellowish, lemon yellowish, I guess. Tree is done, but you could make an animated version of it, and that would look something like this. And here you go, this is the animated version of this tree. So tomorrow I'm going to show you how to make this. So make sure you're ready with your drawing so that tomorrow we can sit together and create this animated tree. So if you want to export this as it is, as an image, you can click on share, publish and export as, and give it as a PNG, JPEG, whatever you want over here, and change the name here and click on export and save it wherever you want. If you like this tutorial, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you want to support this channel, you can always buy me a coffee at ko-fi.com. I guess I'll see you in the next video where we turn this into a super simple animation. Bye-bye.